Rabbi Greenwald, they are very much in the tradition of doing for Klal Yisrael. And I really mean that. Rabbi Ronnie Greenwald has spent his entire life doing the kind of things that very few people do, that involves making a difference for Jews. And let me take the 5 minutes that I have left. They gave me 6, 7, to tell you why I'm here and what happened and why it's so important, and the message to each and every one of you. You're sitting and learning Torah, which is the highest level, the most important thing, because Klal Yisrael needs that Torah, and Klal Yisrael also needs the Bein Adam Li'Adam, the strength that we can give each other. When one person is having a problem, when one person is having difficulty, if you feel that difficulty, if you don't feel the difficulty, then it's not, something is missing. And last week, Tuesday morning, literally 10:30, all of us throughout the world are watching what's going on in Eretz Yisrael. The first thing I do in New York when I go on the computer to see something about Eretz Yisrael, particular place I look is the Times of Israel. I literally, the last 2 weeks, I close my eyes before I see what it's going to say. I close my eyes for a second, hoping that Monday there was a stabbing, but Tuesday there won't be any story about that. It'll be something else. And it's not. And Wednesday, I close my eyes and I'm hoping the same thing. And last week, Tuesday, 10:30, literally, someone mentioned something, and I said, you know what? I want to do something. People want to do more tzedakah, fine. People want to sit and learn because of the situation, to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu that, look, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm doing my part, and we're asking you to do your part. And I said to myself, what can I do? It's a simple question that I ask myself many times in my life. When there's a matzav, when there's a situation where another Jew is in pain, another Jew is having difficulty, the question is, what can I do? Kvetching, complaining, it's not worth anything. It's nice, to feel, but if you don't act upon it, if you don't do something about that, then it's really just words. It doesn't have great consequence. And I decided on the spot, and thank God I'm in a position where I can do these kind of things. I said to the people in my office, I got to go to Eretz Yisrael, and I got to go tomorrow. I got to go right away. I want to be there. I want to walk the streets. That's what I came for. I didn't come to meet with anybody. I wasn't interested in meeting with anybody. I said, I want to walk the streets of Yerushalayim. And since I got here, that's exactly what I've been doing. And it's been one of the most powerful experiences of my life. And I've had many of them. Because I've been in Eretz Yisrael during all the difficult times, including last year when there's the war in the south. I went straight to Beersheba when the missiles were falling. And I wasn't doing it because I did it because I wanted to feel. I wanted to feel what other Jews were going through so I could talk about it to the world. So I could share it with Jews all over the world, because there's nothing like being there. You could watch it, you could read about it, your rabbis could tell you about it, but if you see it with your eyes, when I was at the hospital this morning to visit 4 people at Shari Tzedek, and I met one young person who had more stitches on his body. He wasn't wearing his shirt when I walked in. He had more stitches on his body than I've ever seen, that I can imagine a person could have. He had been stabbed terribly, and I can't even tell you what that was like. And then as he was trying to run away from the terrorists, holding the inside of his body in his hands. That's what he told us. The terrorist was running after him, stabbing him. And Baruch Hashem, he's recovering, he'll be fine. But let me tell you, being there, seeing a fellow Jew who's defending Eretz Yisrael, just like you're defending Eretz Yisrael, by sitting and learning, and doing the extra. And doing the extra ben adam l'makam, ben adam li'adam, between yourselves and between your neighbors, your friends, etc. That's what it's all about. Walking the streets. People say, said to me, what kind of security do you have? And I'll tell you the truth. I told them, look, up there. You got to be careful. You can't do anything. You can't be, a wise guy or something. It's a serious situation. But you can't be afraid. If you are afraid, then our enemies are victorious. Then our enemies have accomplished exactly what they want to do. They want to see no Jews walking around the streets. They want to see people not going to the Kotel. Not going here, not going there. So yes, you got to be careful. There are times when you shouldn't go. But for each and every person, for me it was a question of I'm getting on a plane and I'm coming and I'm going to be here.
With Mark.
What?
With Mark Rosenberg.
With Mark and so on. And that's what you should always be thinking to yourself. Always. What can I do the extra as a Jew? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is keeping track of everything. We know that. It's like a video up there of every single person. Every single person is an individual here. And if you want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do, because at the end of the day, without HaKadosh Baruch Hu, nothing happens. We don't have a chance. There's no future without HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But we have to deserve Hashem's intervention on our behalf. And the only way that happens is if we do our part. If every person does their part, we're in great shape. We're not going to have problems. But every person has to do it in their own way. Every person has to do it. And I'm not saying anything. I think I'm saying what the Gemara talks about and what Torah is all about. We have to care for each other. And the question then becomes, what am I doing? And you can answer that question to yourself, because just find something. Every person in their own way can do something. And if we all do that in Klal Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to protect us. So excuse me for taking you away from your learning. I hope this was learning as well, and the message. And you should dedicate yourself, if I may say so. You should dedicate. You're already learning. You're already here. You're learning. You want to do the extra? Do extra something in terms of learning. Do extra in terms of your neighbor and your friend. The hello, how are you? Even if you don't like the person. If you like the person, it's easy to get along with someone. But if someone that maybe has rubbed you the wrong way, don't look at it. Hashem will love you for that. So you should have a wonderful year, a safe year, a meaningful year. You are lucky, the ones from all over America who are here. It's such an unbelievable thing to be able to be in Eretz Yisrael, to sit and learn, and not to have to worry about anything. Be careful. Thank you very much for having me.